We wanted Western Sydney International to be unique to its location and to its people, and not to be confused for another airport terminal elsewhere, either in the country or the world.
I've been looking at this ceiling and living and breathing it for the past 2 years, 3 years, so it's hard to be objective. It is the architectural focal point of the airport, so it was important that we pulled it off right.
From Woods Bagot's perspective, we're very privileged to be involved in this project. It represented an opportunity to sort of create an everlasting asset for Western Sydney's incredible community. The narrative of powerful landscapes, the Blue Mountains, the Cumberland Plains, which the competition team, Zaha and Cox, essentially created. We loved it too. In particular, the feature ceiling very much is evocative of that landscape.
The International Design Competition, at its core, wanted undulating battens profiling through the terminal. We had to get there in terms of how these things are supported, how we can build it, and then how we can get the finish to reflect what the architect was going for.
There is over 200 kilometres of batten suspended here behind me at the moment. Everyone was originally talking about working with light mobile cranes and putting everything up in a 9x9 sort of setting. But from a construction point of view, no one could really picture how that would work with services integration, with access panels, with time frames.
So where Austral came to really help us realise this vision was to take equal amounts of pragmatism and technical acumen to bring together a very clever piece of fabrication and construction.
You see the waviness and the curves in the ceiling, but none of the battens are curved. It's the framing that achieves that concept. We at inception started talking about a custom clip with a pivot on the clip connection to the framing to the batten. And that custom clip that we've specifically made for WSA with Rondo has that little swivel on it. So whatever the framing is doing with regards to profile, the batten's following that because it pivots.
Early in the piece, when we engaged Austral, we started talking to Capral about different extrusion shapes that would work and started looking at the dies that we could make, not only to get the strength that we need, but also the deflections and the straightness in order to get a high quality product at the end.
That custom clip had its own tolerances that needed to be incorporated into the batten design as well. So I know that Capral had a big job ahead of them with regards to maintaining what was on a set of drawings that we got stamped by absolutely every consultant, and they delivered that. And in fact, the QA that Capral have done has been second to none.
Out there in Western Sydney, the sky, it's incredible. We felt that Woods Bagot had a role here to really celebrate that, to have the roof lifting up separate to its base and to allow light to do the work, so the way that the ceiling is animated through the day can really be enjoyed.
Our initial concepts had a lot of support framing in these skylight zones through the middle. By introducing the spine, we're able to push the spans out and allow that natural light to come through unobstructed.
The spine and what it's doing and how we've engineered it, it's become a structural element for the suspension of the entire feature ceiling. Capral over at WA, we had 9 to 12 metre sheets out there that could be CNC'd in 12mm alley, which is what that spine is. It actually reduced our wastage factor down to 10 to 15%.
Working with Multiplex, working with the engineers, in particular Austral and Capral, we worked together through a prototyping process. So it was a very integrated team.
Capral actually invited the project team out to their factory in Smithfield to basically see how all 188 kilometres of battens were getting produced, and the fact that we were able to source this whole job with lower carbon aluminium was a great result.
It didn't matter if you're an architect or a fabricator or a constructor or a project manager, we're all together. We had a common goal to achieve the outcome.
The width of the terminal is about 140 metres and it's about 200 metres long. Trying to get things to line up perfectly for that distance is not an easy feat. So I think it was a combination of the quality of the Capral product, the precision of the guys on the tools. Everyone had a role, from someone on a drop saw cutting a mitre to a fraction of a degree, to other people riveting, setting up framing, joining this feature ceiling together.
I've got 2 young children at the moment. In 5-10 years, they could be them walking through here and just looking up and saying, look what Dad did. I'm sure not just myself, but everyone feels that way that's had involvement with the project. So I just wanted to say thank you to Capral for all the work and the effort that they've put in. Having them with us on this journey was, the best.